What's up everybody, Quasi here. Got a quick video showing off all the current gods in Smite. I did one of these back in closed beta on my old Gamer Liberis channel, but they have since added a boatload of new gods and even reworked a few. As you can see here, Hel was actually just recently reworked and she looks freaking awesome now. Her skills are mostly the same. Anyways, this is just going to be really quick. I'm not going to go into depth over all the gods, just wanted to show you guys what's in here and what they do. So we've got Hel, goddess of the underworld. She is a Norse god and she is a ranged mage, sort of supporty, though she can do a good amount of damage. Then we have Agni, the god of fire. He's a Hindu god, a ranged mage, but he is mostly DPS. He's got almost no support, though he does have a stun, some damage that way, if you can count that as support. Then we have Anhur, slayer of enemies. He's an Egyptian god, a ranged physical god. They've now classified these as hunters, though basically they're ranged AD carries, attack damage, do a lot of single target damage late game, and carry the team essentially. Then we have Anubis, god of the dead, an Egyptian god, a ranged magical mage, sort of like a mage assassin, does a lot of damage, relatively limited mobility. Then we have Ao Kuang, Dragon King of the Eastern Seas. He's a Chinese god, a ranged mage, mostly for lane pushing, clearing minions, that kind of thing. A lot of AoE damage, well, one big AoE damage. Then we have Aphrodite, goddess of beauty, a Greek god, a ranged mage, and she is a support like Hel, except she's probably focused a little more on support than Hel is. Hel can do some pretty decent damage, like I said before. She's got a lot of sustain with her heal, her dot heal over time. Then we have Apollo, god of music, a Greek god. He's another ranged physical god like Anhur. He's a hunter, or AD carry basically, and he is actually pretty mobile. He's got a lot of late game damage. His ult lets him fly around in the sky, so that's pretty cool. Then we have Arachne the Weaver, a Greek god, melee physical assassin, often used to jungle. I'm not sure where she's at in the current meta, whatever, right now, because she's been getting nerfed, buffed, nerfed, that kind of thing. So, but she's still fun to play. She's got a nice yank. Then we have Ares, god of war. He's Greek, and he is a tank, guardian, basically the same thing. A lot of CC with his yank and his chains, and he can take a lot of damage. He's also a magical tank. I think I may have said that before. Whatever, going too fast. Then we have Artemis, goddess of the hunt, Greek god, goddess, whatever. Ranged physical hunter, a lot of single target damage. Her ult is a boar that stuns close by enemies. Athena, goddess of wisdom, a Greek goddess, melee magical tank, so like Ares, high CC and pretty decent defense, and some people like to build her AP, attack power, magic, same, whatever, and it works alright, I guess. It's kind of fun. I mean, she is a magic tank, so. Then we have Bacchus, god of wine, a Roman god, another melee magical mage, guardian. I guess I should start calling him guardian now. Ooh, man, I'm going way too quick. Good CC. He's a pretty fun god to play. He basically just got to keep him drunk, then he can go to town. Bacchus Aura, the great Hindu, or the great devourer, a Hindu god, melee physical assassin, good single target damage. I think some people still jungle with him, but I'm not sure how his jungle is currently. Bastet, goddess of cats, Egyptian god, goddess, melee physical assassin, a lot of single target damage. I think she's actually one of the least played gods. I could be wrong on that. I saw some sort of stat picture from Hi-Rez on Reddit a while ago, but maybe that changed. But I enjoy her. She's actually one of my favorite assassins. Then we have Chang'e, Fairy of the Moon, a Chinese god, ranged mage, a lot of support, a lot of mobility. Not so much damage, but she can do a fair amount of damage. Mostly used for her support, though. Then we have Chronos, keeper of time, a Greek god, ranged mage, medium CC, very high mobility, probably one of the most mobile gods, or mages, anyways. Probably say him and Poseidon, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I played him. Very fun to play. Got a nice stun, or slow/stun. Very useful in team fights. Cupid, god of love, a Roman god, ranged physical hunter, AD carry. really good single target damage, but also good sustain because he has an ability that drops little hearts that heal him or whoever picks him up, and if his allies pick him up, he gets mana back, so he can stay in lane for a pretty long period of time. Fenrir the Unbound, a Norse god, melee physical assassin, a little tankier than other assassins, I think. They may have changed that, but pretty mobile, and he can wreck the game if he gets fed early. Well, pretty much any god can, but I've seen some crazy Fenrir plays. Freya, Queen of the Valkyries, a Norse goddess, melee magical mage. She's interesting because even though her basic attack is melee, one of her main skills turns that basic attack into a ranged attack that does damage and slow. She is beastly. Plus her ult hurts like a truck. Hits like a truck, whatever. Guan, Saint of War, a Chinese god. This god was in quite a while ago, but they reworked him, partially in anticipation of the Tencent deal that's going on, the release for the Asian markets. He's a melee physical warrior, so bruiser basically. He does a lot of damage, less than assassins, but he can take more damage than assassins, so good, nice compromise there. His ult's pretty cool too, because he can ride on a horse and attack people. Hades, king of the underworld, a Greek god, a ranged mage guardian, a lot of defense. He can actually do a decent amount of damage. It's kind of hard to pull off. Plus he has one of my favorite skins in the game. I love it. Nightmare. Very, very good quality. Then we have Hebo, god of the Yellow River, a Chinese god, ranged mage. A lot of damage. This god can hit like a truck, man. Whoo, especially his ult. Actually, a lot of mages hit like trucks, but Hebo, you gotta watch out for him. Hercules, champion of Rome, a Roman god, obviously, melee physical warrior. He can also sort of tank because one of his abilities lets him, well, once you activate the ability and start taking hits, after a few seconds you start regenerating a percentage of that. In late game, you regenerate a lot of that, so a very good tank. In some, specifically in Arena, I guess. I don't know, in Conquest. Hunbats, the Howler Monkey God, a Mayan god. Hope we get more Mayan gods. I really like them for some reason. A melee physical assassin, very good single target damage. He used to be Wukong, and that's what his abilities are right now. They're basically Wukong's old abilities, though reworked a little bit, and he looks a lot more legit in my opinion. Not so cartoonish. Fun to play. I think some people use him to jungle. People use mostly assassins to jungle, so. Isis, goddess of magic, an Egyptian goddess, ranged mage, some decent CC, a good stun, and pretty mobile too. One of her abilities lets her backpedal at full speed, basically. Then we have Kali, goddess of destruction, a Hindu god, melee physical assassin. She has some decent sustain, so sort of like Fenrir, because Fenrir's got a lot of lifesteal, and yeah, she's fun to play, pretty fast too. I don't like her ult too much, but yeah. Loki, the trickster god. I'd say he's one of the more popular gods, especially assassins. He is a Norse god, melee physical assassin, like I said, a very high single target damage. His ult is a leap, and he has invisibility too, so he can do a lot of spike damage. Mercury, messenger of the gods, he was added in the past 2 weeks. Roman god, very fast, very fun to play. Got a lot of like movement speed type abilities. Well, a leap, and his ult like shoots you across the map if you charge it all the way up. Very good single target damage. Yeah. Nadja, the third Lotus prince, and yes, this chick is a dude. He is a prince. Very feminine, but that's true to his lore, and I like that Hi-Rez keeps it like that. Very good single target damage. I've seen a crazy jungle build with Nadja. I don't know if it's still viable. It's insane to pull off, but if you can do it, it's pretty legit. I've never done it myself though, because that's way out of my skill level. He also has a very awesome cyberpunk skin they just added. Look at that. Then Neith, Weaver of Fate, another pretty popular god, an Egyptian god, ranged physical hunter, decent CC and good damage, especially late game. Moving down, almost done, we got Odin, the Allfather, a Norse god. He has also been reworked. His look has changed. His abilities are mostly the same, though they've been touched up. Melee physical warrior, so pretty good defense, pretty good well, I don't know about his sustain. He doesn't really have any life leech as far as I'm aware. As far as I know. Not making any sense. So I don't know. That's what the description says, I guess. I don't really play Odin, or tanks, or warriors for that matter. Then Poseidon, god of the oceans, one with the awesome ult that summons the Kraken. Release the Kraken! Ranged mage, pretty good AoE damage, and a killer slow, especially if you build him with Gem of Isolation. Ra, the sun god, an Egyptian god. I used to play this god like mad way back in CB when I played nothing but Conquest before Arenas. Ranged mage, very good pusher like Kwang, though Ra's abilities are more of a straight line. He's also supporty because he's got a nice heal and a decent slow / blind. Oh, I interrupted his ult. Sobek, god of the Nile, an Egyptian god, a melee magical guardian, so another tank. It says high CC. I guess that's sort of true. He's got a knockback and a slow, kind of, with his ult, I think. I don't know. He's got a nice yank, so I guess that counts too. Good for initiating. Thanatos, Hand of Death, a Greek god. He's currently my favorite god. I absolutely love him with an attack speed build. He's kind of hard early game, but late game, if you can survive till then, he really shines. Pretty decent nukage. His ult is also pretty legit, coming down from the sky like Thor. Speaking of Thor, god of thunder, a Norse god, melee physical assassin. Interesting. I thought he was classified as a warrior, but I guess he's an assassin now. He's got some nice CC. I'd say he's like in between assassin and warrior. Pretty good damage, but a little more survivable than other assassins. Tyr, the Lawgiver, a Norse melee physical warrior. Decent CC. He's kind of cool because he switches between stances, so somewhat similar to Hell. Fun to play. Plus his sword is freaking epic. Vimana, the frickin' baby. Fifth avatar of Vishnu, a Hindu god, melee physical warrior. Pretty good defense and good sustain. His sustain comes partly from his ult that regenerates his health, or can. Vulcan, Smith of the Gods, a Roman god. He's an engineer, a turret kind of guy. Melee magical guardian, so pretty good defense. Also really good at pushing lanes. Well, with partners anyways. I don't know about solo laning with Vulcan, though some people do it. It's actually pretty good, I think. But Shibalanke, hidden jaguar son, a Mayan god, ranged physical hunter, very high single target damage, another 80 carry, good damage late game. His ult's pretty cool because it limits the enemy's field of view for a short period of time, and if they don't stop moving, they'll get stunned, though most people at this point in the game know to stop moving. Last three. Ymir, father of the frost giants, a Norse god, a melee magical guardian, a good CC because of his freeze and his wall, plus he's got a slow on his other abilities. Not so much damage, pretty low damage actually, but a very good lane partner with a AD carry or assassin even, mages too, pretty much anything. Zeus, god of the sky, a Greek god, a ranged mage, a lot of AoE damage. If you can get your late game build up with Rada Tahuti and some penetration, and then trap the enemies in combination with like an Odin ult or an Ares ult, you can absolutely wreck teams. Probably one of the easier gods to get a Quadra or Penta with. And finally we have Zhong Kui, the Demon Queller. Wow, my voice is like shaking at this point. He's a Chinese god, a ranged mage, pretty good for pushing lanes, and he's got a lot of sustain because of his life leech. He can be sort of annoying to play if your teammates don't know that you're playing him or don't care, because you really need to farm on the minions, and sometimes they'll take your kills from you, which is annoying. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That was a pretty quick look at all the current gods in Smite. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. Peace.